The following is an exclusive presentation of the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the AHSAA Radio Network.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Inside the AHSAA. Thank you so much for being with us this week. Got a great show lined up for you. Randy Lee Jr., color commentator for the BRHS Wildcats and one of the founders of the AHSAA Radio Network, will be on to discuss the upcoming North-South All-Star game at Crampton Bowl this Thursday night. Also going to have John Garcia on from 24/7 Sports. He joins us frequently, and he will be on to discuss some of the guys participating in that game and also the banner year for quarterbacks in the state of Alabama. So stick with us on Inside the AHSAA.
Even the best of us forget sometimes. But buckling up is one thing you always want to remember.
Seatbelts save lives. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste? Coca-Cola! And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who? Coca-Cola! How is Coca-Cola going to give a real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it? Yeah! At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt?
Coke Zero!
Take a lap! Coke Zero! Real Coke taste!
0 calories!
Welcome back to Inside the AHSAA. I'm your host, Luke Robinson. Thank you so much for being with us today. I want to welcome in our first guest, and that's Randy Lee Jr., who is the color commentator for the Benjamin Russell Wildcats, also one of the founders of the AHSAA Radio Network and one of the anchors on Sports Blitz as well. Randy, how are you today?
Glad to be with you, Luke, and looking forward to another really busy football season that we've got right on the brink.
Yeah, it's right here upon us as you will be calling a game. I believe it's this Thursday, July 19th. It's going to be the North-South All-Star football game, and it's going to be a fun one, it sounds like. And, you know, you've got a bit of a tie there anyway because Benjamin Russell's new coach is going to be there helping out.
Yeah, Kevin Smith is one of the offensive coaches here for the North team, and Benjamin Russell also has a running back that's participating in this year's game, David Herron. Super kid, really good running back, and looking forward to seeing him one last time. But it's a good game. It's a fun game. Actually, as you mentioned, Kevin, talked to him earlier this week, or really caught up with Brett Pritchard talking with Kevin. And Kevin said the one thing about this group is you're not getting the Alabama-Mississippi All-Stars. You're getting the next set of them. But the fun part about that is these guys may be going to smaller schools, and they maybe aren't the Auburn and Alabama commits, but they love football. They love the opportunity to represent their school. They love being named an all-star. You get really good effort out of all of these guys. So he did mention that he's really enjoying it so far. And for a lot of these guys, it's their last football game, Luke. They're not going to go on and play college football, but it is something I could kind of put myself in their shoes. And if you're able to go out and represent your school and your community one last time, and always kind of have that to hang your hat on, that you were named an all-star here in the state of Alabama, that's got to be special. I
definitely agree with you there. And there are a couple other names that are going to be at this game playing. Lee Allen Daly is one of them, a big-time target of Pinson Valley's, who I should say is a big-time target of Bo Nix's. At least he was last year in the state championship game. I remember his having several big catches. He's a great player. Pinson Valley has another representative in Desmond Scott, a defensive lineman who I think had a big game in the state championship game as well. Are there some other players you're really excited about seeing in this contest?
You know, as I look down the list, I recognize a lot of them, especially from the smaller schools, because we've called them in some of these state championship events. But just going off of historically, this will be our 10th year to go over and call these games. You know, when you see these smaller school kids, maybe they're slightly not the size that you're expecting to see from a Division I signee, or missing a little bit of speed or missing a little bit of height here and there. but their numbers, when you look down, are exceptional. And you'll find a diamond in the rough from time to time. And I know that you mentioned back a lot during the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star games that a player like Wallace Gilberry, who comes on late, starts getting some mentions, really gets himself seen, has a lot of opportunities after that, ends up at Alabama, ends up with a great career at Alabama, and then ends up at the university and really making a big impact during his tenure there. You know, that's what these kids are there to do. You know, I don't know that many of them will get that opportunity, but who's to say, Luke, that you don't find a diamond in the rough out there? Like, you know, look, a Hall of Famer that's actually not going to the ceremony, but you and I happen to know, I think Terrell Owens is either your age or a year younger than you in school, and he was one that would have probably been very, very happy to be in a game like this with the North-South All-Star game. Not one that was going to get offered to play in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, but one that had the size and had the athleticism and could just get the opportunity. And he took advantage of that opportunity, and he's moved on and become an NFL Hall of Famer with that. So that's what I think a lot of these kids are looking forward to, and that's what a lot of these kids that are over for the All-Star Week, many of them are juniors, really the first time that they're going to be seen on a statewide level.
Randy, since you are the color commentator for the Benjamin Russell Wildcats, what's their outlook for this upcoming season?
Looking forward to the season. You'll have a different offense than what we saw during the Danny Horn tenure. Danny, one of the best coaches that's ever done it here in the state of Alabama, has moved back to his hometown in Clay County, and he'll be the central of Clay County coach this upcoming season. Congratulations to him for going back and seeing if he can do what he did during that Clay County tenure where he won 6 state championships. But from our standpoint, I'm looking forward to a different offense. I'm looking forward to Kevin Smith, who's been with the program for 20-plus years in an assistant level, getting an opportunity to put his stamp on this program. I think he's going to do a tremendous job. We've got some really, really good line play on the defensive side of the football. A lot of times when you're in a smaller 6A school like Benjamin Russell is, you play what you get. We're not sitting in a larger community where you have an influx of players transferring in or players that are from one team to the next from year to year. We kind of get who we get in Alexander City. And a lot of times that's a 6'1", 205-pound defensive end. This year's not that way. We got a lot of bigger guys that will really turn your head. You know, some of those guys that get off the bus early. We don't have, you know, a playmaker that I would say like we had a few years ago where I thought we had the best playmaker in the state, Tyree Gray. But we do have some players that can get it done. So, you know, a good playoff run last year for the Wildcats, getting back to the playoffs and having a really successful season. And I expect much the same this year. I expect a solid season. I'm not saying that we're going to be a state championship contender, but, you know, year in and year out, that's not our expectation. We just want to put a good product out there, and I really do believe we'll do that this year.
Should be a lot of fun, Randy, and like you said, the season will be upon us before you know it. July 5th is always my favorite day of the year because once you get over that July 4th hump, football season seems to be right there, and it certainly is again this year. Thank you so much for being with us. Best of luck to the Benjamin Russell Wildcats next year, and you and Brett have fun in Crampton Bowl this Thursday.
Enjoyed it, Luke.
See you, buddy. That was Randy Lee Jr. Of the AHSAA Radio Network, also the color commentator for the Benjamin Russell Wildcats. He does a fantastic job with them. He's been in high school sports since I can remember. I know he played for Benjamin Russell way back when, and he has been a part of the radio team for what seems like forever, and he's done a fantastic job along there with Brett Pritchard. We'll be back in just a minute with more of Inside the AHSAA.
Team is not something you do alone. Team is plural. Team is arms, legs, blood, sweat, and soul. A lot goes into team. But what we take away stays with us forever.
Have you heard the news? Your favorite chick is now online. That's right, you can now get Chicken Salad Chick even faster by visiting order.chickensaladchick.com. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around. Have you heard the news? Your favorite chick is now online. That's right, you can now get Chicken Salad Chick even faster by visiting order.chickensaladchick.com. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More
to come.
More Wilson.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Welcome back to Inside the AHSAA. Luke Robinson here with you again, and want to welcome in now from 24/7 Sports, Mr. John Garcia, who's been on our show a million times, very, very graciously. Love having him on because there's nobody better to talk about high school prospects in the state of Alabama than John Garcia. John, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Luke. Pleasure to be back on with you guys.
Couple of things. Let's start off talking about this North-South All-Star game that the AHSAA has been putting on. It'll be coming up this Thursday, July 19th. Couple of big names that are in this contest. It isn't exactly the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. Everybody knows that. But there are still some big names in this contest, one of them being Leallen Daly from Pinson Valley. He was one of Bo Nix's biggest targets in that state championship game. That's the only game I got to see him play. But he was great, and he's headed to Kentucky, isn't he?
Yeah, SEC prospect, and you love a guy like this because he really worked for it. Whether it was academics or some people questioning his speed, big-bodied kid, but really he had to prove it all the way through his whole career, much less his senior season. But he finally got that SEC breakthrough late in the cycle from Kentucky and jumped on board. Big, strong wide receiver, physical at the point of attack, a better route runner than you would think on a 6'2", 210 pound frame. So I think he's got a chance to play fairly early at Kentucky, and this will be a little bit of a showcase, Luke. We actually saw him down at Pinson in May while watching the next wave of Indians prepare to defend that state championship, and he looked much more trim, much more cut, and frankly ready to play college football. So I think he's going to hopefully showcase some of that on Thursday and give Kentucky fans a little bit of a preview of what they may get over the next 4 years.
A prospect that I found so intriguing last year was Swift Lyle, the quarterback down at St. Paul's. I really thought this is a kid that is being underappreciated when it comes to some of the bigger schools, the bigger colleges around the country. What's going on with Swift Lyle? Because he'll be playing in this game too.
Yeah, he's another one who we wondered when was he going, to get that breakthrough, and he ended up getting that Division I offer from Georgia State. He had a couple of other ones, but really they kept the pressure on full time, so he'll be playing in the Peach State for college. But what you like about Swift is his leadership. There's a negative connotation to the phrase game manager, so let's throw that out the window with Swift Lyle. So, you're not going to get 350 yards and 5 touchdowns, but you're also not going to get interceptions. You're going to get smart plays, and we literally know when it is pressure cooker time, he may be the most prepared quarterback in the state over the last few years. All he did was down 2 scores in the fourth quarter of the state championship game, bring his team all the way back to get the latest banner for Steve Mask and St. Paul's. And precedent also tells us, hey, if there's a good quarterback at St. Paul's, you probably should think about giving him a scholarship, whether it was A.J. McCarron, whether it was Jacob Coker years later. I mean, these guys have produced great prospects, and Steve had long said, you know, Swift was right in the thick of it with those guys in terms of talent. Not a small kid, legit 6'2", 6'3", over 200 pounds, a good athlete, not necessarily a dual threat, but a good athlete who could extend the play as well. So he's kind of a classic quarterback. He is a game manager, but not in the negative connotation in that he is safe. He can make plays and do it at the most important times, which is literally what we saw the last time we saw him with pads on.
John, we have had you on a couple of times so far in 2018. A lot of times we talk about the quarterback talent in the state of Alabama this year. Obviously, Swift Lyle was from last year's class, and he was a fabulous player in his own right. But this particular season, it seems like the state of Alabama is absolutely loaded for bear when it comes to quarterbacks. You talk about
I mean, you don't even have to leave Birmingham, right?
That's right. That's absolutely correct. You got Talia Tagovailoa, you've got Paul Tyson, you got Bo Nix. Everybody knows those guys. But now it seems like out of nowhere, Peter Parrish commits to LSU out of Central Phoenix City. And did that catch you off guard? And did you expect him to be able to go to a huge SEC school like that?
He'd been waiting for it, Luke. And I think, you know, you talk about connotations and working to prove them wrong, whether it's Daly or Swift Lyle. Peter Parrish came in, true dual threat, legit track star in the 400-meter dash. I mean, legit 4.5 laser speed. And he was able to show that off as a first-year varsity starter in 2017. But he kind of got this reputation. Okay, he can run it, and he looks pretty and everything, 6'1", 200 pounds. But what about the throwing from that quarterback position? And other people said when he did throw it well, he had a guy named Justin Ross to kind of help him out there. So he really put in the work following that 2017 season. I'll tell you what, Luke, I didn't see any other quarterback compete as much as Peter Parrish this offseason, purely in passing leagues, passing competitions, whether it was 7-on-7, camps, things like that. I saw him in Atlanta, in Birmingham, in Auburn. I even saw him in Charlotte, North Carolina when I covered an event up there for the Under Armour Camp Series. So this kid put in the work and got the reps and took in as much possible coaching as he could, in addition to performing well at various camps, whether it be Auburn, Florida State, where a lot of people thought he could become their quarterback in this class before doing so at LSU, earning the offer and basically committing some 24 hours later. So he was kind of on that trajectory, Luke, but I think he had to go out there and prove it for a program like that, and they're going all in on him. We know what kind of troubles LSU's had in recruiting quarterbacks, so why not get a dual-threat guy who you know has been willing to put the time in as a passer? And I think as we talk about the potential Mr. Football race for this year, a lot of people are going to go to Bo Nix and Talia Tagovailoa and Paul Tyson. But as you just did, we cannot forget about Peter Parrish, who is a legitimate 20-touchdown runner, 20-touchdown thrower candidate this year. And if he leads Central Phoenix City deep into the playoffs, he should be in the running for Mr. Football as well. Really quickly, John, and lastly, you got two quarterbacks you can take with you to the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game next year. You throw Sheldon Layman in there. He's committed to Memphis, and Cornelius Brown from Calera. What two are you taking? Oh, man. I got to start with Bo Nix. He's been the guy who, for me, has been the clear leader through this whole grouping, whether it was the beginning, the high projections, or the maturation. He's kind of been that guy. And then I'm between Tagovailoa and Parrish. The dual threat element of Parrish with his improvement as a passer has me intrigued, but the pure arm talent and the namesake of Talia Tagovailoa will probably win out in the end. I think you go Iron Bowl there, Nix going to Auburn, Talia going to Alabama. I think you just play the Iron Bowl quarterbacks and you kind of go from there, but I am not envious of the AHSAA trying to figure out which two quarterbacks to bring because, as you said, 6 legit Power 5 type quarterbacks in this class. And that's not even getting to Jamil Muhammad up in Huntsville. He's committed to Vanderbilt as a quarterback, although he's more of an athlete. So tough group of quarterbacks to select from this year. And like I said, I'm glad I don't have to do it. Buddy, thank you so much for being with us again, John, on late notice. We really do appreciate your time, man. Anytime, Luke. Thanks for having me again.
It's John Garcia from 24/7 Sports, best in the business. We'll be back in just a minute to wrap the show up.
Have you heard the news? Your favorite chick is now online. That's right, you can now get Chicken Salad Chick even faster by visiting order.chickensaladchick.com. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around. Have you heard the news? Your favorite chick is now online. That's right, you can now get Chicken Salad Chick even faster by visiting order.chickensaladchick.com. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around.
No, wrong! Bring it in, guys! Take a knee! Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste?
Coca-Cola!
And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who?
Coca-Cola!
How is Coca-Cola going to give real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes the snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it?
Yeah!
At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt?
Coke Zero Cola!
Take a lap! Coke Zero! Real Coke taste!
0 calories!
Hello, my name is Dave Milton with Southeastern Land Group. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. We sell farmland and timberland in Alabama and the surrounding states. Not only do we have a land sales division, but we also have a timber sales division where we can help you with your timber sales and your timber appraisals. There's 22 of us in our group scattered throughout the southeastern United States. We are a full service land and timber sales company. We do with farmland, timberland, cattle property, poultry farms. 866-751-LAND. Go to the website selandgroup.com.
What do you see when you think about your future?
Do you see determination that keeps you going, that helps you make a difference in your world?
Do you see challenges that make you stronger?
Southern Union State Community College realizes that your opportunities for greatness are unlimited. Your journey has just begun.
Well, that's going to wrap this show up for Inside the AHSAA. Thank you again so much for being with us. We will catch you next week on Inside the AHSAA.